Dustin, they made you tape your hat off.
Yeah, big business, man.
I still got the product placement there.
Smart business.
Well, Dustin, congratulations. Obviously, I mean, we know what to expect when you step in the cage now, I guess. I mean, it was another one of those kind of fights. But how are you feeling about your performance and the result right now?
Feeling good, man. I had 11 months to sit back and sit on a loss. And I was trying to get fights that whole time. Nothing came through. Nothing materialized. I'm not sure whose fault it was, but I was training back home. Just sitting on that championship loss, it hurts. But it drove me to get better and come in here and get the W tonight.
Yeah. Obviously, I mean, you had to go through some tough spots in there. I mean, I know you knew he was dangerous, but I mean, did anything in there surprise you? Or
his durability surprised me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that if I hurt him for sure, I'd get him out of there. And I think if I had a couple seconds added to the round, I would have got him out of there. But I hit him with a few really good shots that he survived. That was surprising. He gets hurt a lot. And I just thought when I did hurt him, I would get him out of there.
Seemed like you were pretty proud to get it done with the grappling. Was that like a point of pride for you?
Yeah. Getting submitted by a rear naked choke in my last fight, coming in here and submitting a former world champion with a rear naked choke, that feels good.
What about what happens when you're in that rear naked choke position now, right? I mean, because I think we're all sitting there watching going, is this going to happen again? I mean, are you thinking that at the time? I'm
just trying to fight the hands and defend properly, but of course I'm thinking, not again. I'm like, hello, darkness, my old friend.
Nice. He was here earlier, and he did say that, because we saw you speak afterwards, he said, look, I'm not going to tell you what was said. That's between two men. He was like, but it wasn't as pleasant as I thought it would be. So, I mean, when you guys spoke, can you reveal, like, what was said?
I told him this is my house. That's what I told him. I said, this is my house. That's it.
Nice.
And I told him he's a dirty motherfucker, too, for putting his fingers in my mouth and blowing his nose, and, it's all good.
So it's not exactly over, or it is over?
Man, it's over. I don't hold. It's whatever. It's whatever.
Nice. And I guess last thing for me, I know you want to celebrate the launch of the new hot sauce and enjoy yourself, but I guess where do you see yourself going here? Because I know you feel like, hey, right there in that title contention, you're clearly one of the biggest names in the sport. Do you need time off? Do you want to book? I mean, you're thinking title contention. Like, where do you go from here?
I did have 11 months off, but it's Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, New Year's. I want to be home with my daughter. She's in first grade now, so when I leave for training camps, she's only able to come out for a limited time. We get a tutor. She stays on the same curriculum, everything. It's just a long process. It's a different process now. My daughter's getting older. When she was in kindergarten, it was a little bit easier, but we'll see. So I'm not sure what's next. Get home, let the smoke clear, start enjoying the holidays, and then we'll take it from there. But I'm sure it's going to be a big fight. I'm sure it's going to lead to a title fight if it's not going to be one, and it'll be another head-on collision.
Dustin, over here, corner. Right. At the media day, obviously, we brought up the fact that this was your first 3-round fight in a long time. So being in there, did you feel like you could just fight differently, knowing you wouldn't have to reserve your energy for maybe 2 more rounds?
I kind of fight like that if it's a 5-round fight. I was more worried because after the second, now it's 1-1. Whoever wins this round wins the fight. Usually you have a little bit more cushion there to get into a rhythm and try to pick the guy apart. It was a little bit more scary. Not that I ever take rounds off, but when you're fighting a 3-round fight, round 1 and round 2 is so important. You have to start off fast.
And you mentioned what you said after the fight, but it looked like you were talking to him in there too, maybe even after the round. Were you also kind of calling him out on the fish hooks and everything during the fight?
I was telling him he was dirty, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So a couple quick questions. When Michael was here earlier, he did say he kind of apologized getting the fingers, said it was unintentional, what have you.
It was definitely intentional.
Isaiah, what have you. He mentioned, though, with the snot in the nose, like that was just gravity and he needed to breathe, and it's just like, sorry about that, man. That's just gravity.
It's just fighting,
Yeah.
It's just fighting.
The actual serious question, the rear naked choke that you touched on earlier, I asked Michael also about this, about why he was unable to get this, because he couldn't seem to get the arm under the neck. Was it something particular in, like, your chin placement? Was there some strategic, or was it just slippery? Or, like, are you sure about what happened there?
It's just getting choked by a rear naked choke in 2 world title fights will make you tuck your chin a little bit tighter next time you're in that position. That's what it is. Living and learning and getting back to the gym and working my defense with Michael Brown and getting better.
And last question from me is, can we have a bottle of the hot sauce for the pizza in the back?
Got you.
Nice.
I got you.
Dustin right here. This was your first submission victory in just shy of 10 years. Last one was Jonathan Brookins, December 2012. Is that like a nice relief to you, or does it feel better?
I wanted a knockout, man, because
Yeah.
I have most knockouts in lightweight history. I wanted to kind of start pulling away with that, you know. But a finish is a finish. A win is a win. I'm very grateful, man, and thankful that I had a great camp and came out here and had a fun fight.
Yeah, and 21 overall UFC wins now, 3 shy of the record, which is 24. Is that something that's important to you to kind of be on there for, one of the winningest fighters in UFC history? I know you take a lot of pride.
For sure. Every record that I hear when people talk about it that has my name in it. I'm very prideful because it's hard. These longevity records like that are hard to do, and they're gonna get harder because everyone's getting so good. To get that many wins is gonna be tough in the future.
When you see a guy like Frankie Edgar, who has one of those longevity records, just shy of the most fight time ever, get knocked out the way he did, does that ever give you thoughts of when the right time to get out is?
Man, Frankie's such a legend, and to see the damage the fights he's lost and the damage he's taken, like in his last, he's always taken damage, but Ward a lot better when he was younger. But, being knocked out with the front kick, being knocked out with the flying knee by Sandhagen, coming in here, getting knocked out again. I really like the guy, and he's a good guy. And, you just hate to see a legend go out like that.
And last thing, today the UFC announced that Volkanovski's moving up to 155. He's going to fight Makhachev in Perth. Who do you think wins that fight?
I don't know. That's a tough one to call. I'm not sure.
Dustin, to your right. Dustin right here. I'm looking over your record, and I look at Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker, Max Holloway, tonight against Michael Chandler. It's like really close fights coming down to the last minutes, and each time you've dug deep and found a way to win. Just talk about that for a second.
That's fighting. That's what fighting is. A fight isn't a fight until there's an obstacle to overcome. Otherwise, it's just a sports venture. It's a fight. It's going to hurt. It's going to be ugly. You're going to have to believe in yourself and pick yourself up between rounds. And, that's fighting.
And as Mike just mentioned, it was announced that Makhachev and Volkanovski is going to fight each other. That said, a lot of times when and that's in February, when you have these mega big time fights, they like to have a guy as a backup weigh in. Would that interest you?
We'll see. When is the fight?
February.
I don't know. We'll see. That's a long flight. Cut weight. They better give me a check.
Congratulations.
Dustin,
Thank
just
you.
going off of the back of that, Khabib actually tweeted his congratulations to you, and he also suggested you and Beneil Dariush in Perth in February on that card. Would that interest you?
That's one that makes a lot of sense. Beneil's earned his stripes and put away some tough guys and been looking great doing it. We'll see. I'm not against it, but it's ultimately up to the UFC and my time frame when I'm going to return. That's what it comes down to.
What do you think about the matchup with you and Beneil?
I think it's a great matchup. I think he deserves a top matchup.
Thank you.
Dustin, right here, to your left. After the win, you walked up to Mike and you said you were scared to fight him. Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, you have to tread lightly when you use the word scared and fighting in tough guy sports, but I meant it as like those kind of fights are the fights that I want to sign, those contracts that get me nervous and get me worried about what could happen. That's every fight, but there's more whenever you just watch the guy go to war with Justin Gaethje and you see the way he knocks out guys you fought and things like that. I know the danger in the way he fights, like what you saw tonight. I knew it was going to be a head-on collision, and that, it's a healthy fear. It's a healthy fear.
And you talked about Frankie Edgar's career and how it waned, disgracefully, but with all the damage he took. You're a fighter who's definitely not shy of violence. You get in these slugfests as we saw tonight. Do you think about maybe pushing to a more strategic, less violent style moving forward, or is it war every single time you get in that case?
It's war. It's war.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And just Dustin, before you leave, I spoke to Eves, right over here. Eves said day.
Day.
I said Thug Jitsu, he said day.
Yeah, you better believe it.
Day.
You better believe it. I know I made my boy Eves proud tonight with the Thug Jitsu.
Absolutely. Congrats, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Feels good to.